Hello and welcome back to the Follow Your Spark podcast. It's your host, Gina Casbarro, and I'm coming on for a solo episode today to talk all about the power of belief. So if you are listening to this and there is something that you want to believe in, whether it's a professional goal that you're working towards or something in your personal life or whatever it is, if there's something that you want to believe in and maybe you've struggled, maybe your brain is finding all the reasons why it's not possible, or maybe you even just want to turn the dial up on your confidence and belief in something so that you have more fuel and fire propelling you towards it, either way, this conversation is for you, my friend. The first thing I want to share is why is this topic so important to me right now? So as a life coach, I think about belief and our thoughts all the time. And over the past 10 years, I've really seen the power in my own life of what's happened when I have a strong belief about something and what has felt like a struggle or a challenge or gets in my way of being able to believe in something, and why sometimes it can feel so easy and sometimes it can feel so hard. So that's one of the things that really inspired me to talk about this today, because I feel like belief work, mindset work can sometimes feel very intangible. Like, am I doing it? Am I not doing it? Is anything happening? Is it getting any better? So today I really want to share a little bit more about what my experience has been like, and also share about an event coming up called Believe in Baltimore on May 7th. So you'll hear more about that throughout this episode. And whether you're in Baltimore or not, this conversation is going to be really powerful and hopefully introduce a new perspective of what can help you build belief. And again, why is this so important? So for you, I want to ask you a question of where in your life have you been able to build belief in something, or just believe in something? Where have you been able to have a dream, have something that you want to pursue, have something that you want to create, big or small, and you believed in it and it came true? If you can imagine that right now, I really invite you to drop into that place and ask yourself of like, wow, what has opened up for me in my own life when I've been able to believe in something, and really just like connect to that possibility for a second. Because part of this is what belief work is all about. It's being able to believe in something that's never happened before. So when I think about belief, like first I want to just articulate what that even means to me. Believing in something, I really see the connection to imagination. It's about being able to believe in a reality that does not currently exist, or that maybe you've never done before, or you don't see any examples of how it's been done before. And you're imagining something in your mind, in your heart, in your body, and exploring in your imagination what it would be like if that thing came to life. So if you imagine children, right? They can be so good at make-believe, and they create whole worlds with their stuffies and their toys and all these things, and like this creature can fly and these two animals can talk to each other, and like they're building this whole world, and they're in this deep state of play, curiosity, make-believe. They're not thinking about of like how unrealistic it is that this bear talks to that giraffe or whatever it is. They're having fun with it. They're imagining it, and it feels so real to them. So that's what I think about when it comes to belief. Being able to tap into that power that's inside all of us to imagine and envision worlds that don't exist yet. And this is so important because it really fuels our actions. So if you believe something is possible, then you're going to take actions, take steps towards that reality because you're envisioning it. You can see yourself there, you're imagining it, and of course you're going to take steps towards it because you can see it, taste it, touch it, feel it in the realm of your imagination. Versus if you don't believe something is possible, you're not going to do anything towards it. It's not even going to occur to you that you should, because why would you? It's never going to happen anyways. So that's really the power of belief. And this is something, and I'm like, this is important all the time. And, in this moment in time, I feel like when we're in a space of So much is being deconstructed, so much is changing, and I feel like there's going to be this even stronger call towards being able to imagine a reality that doesn't exist yet, to completely reimagine how we live, how we work, how we earn money, what's possible, whether it's with AI and just all the different innovations that are happening in the world, all the different changes that are happening in the world on so many different levels. And change can be something that's terrifying. It can be something that's completely unsettling because our brains want what's known and safe and familiar. So anytime something is new, anytime something is unknown, that can come with a whole host of emotions and experiences and turmoil. So belief and really being able to learn how to practice and cultivate this skill, I find is going to be a crucial and critical and vital skill to create the new world, to create our own worlds, whatever we want that to be, to navigate any kind of change, any kind of uncertainty is going to really invite and require us to see things newly with that childlike wonder of what could be possible. If I could imagine something that doesn't even exist right now, that has no parameters or constraints or limitations, what would I want to create for myself and my life? That is such a powerful place to dance in, to play in. And yet, I know as we get older, it can be much harder to be in that realm of imagination and play and creativity and inspiration. So let's talk about that for a little bit. And what I will say too is we're going to get much deeper into the why, into why it can be so hard to build belief, what can actually help you build belief at this in-person event in Baltimore on May 7th. So stay tuned for that. And what I will share right now is a little bit more of my own personal experience when it comes to belief and what I've realized can make belief really easy and feel like seamless to step into and amplify, and what I've realized makes belief really hard. So for me, one of the most potent and powerful examples in my entire life of what has happened when I tapped into the power of belief is when I went on a year-long solo road trip from 2021 to 2022. So back in September of 2020, in the height of COVID, I got this divine download to take a year-long road trip. I was at a time of my life where I was deep in transition and change. I had just gone through a breakup. I was in between houses. I had no idea what was next. And I asked for Spirit to guide me towards my next breadcrumb, what would serve me right now. And I got this divine download to go on this trip. And when that first dropped into my mind, I just felt this like excitement, curiosity, wonder. And I spent the next 10 months imagining it, journaling on what I might experience, what it would be like, the essence of why it really mattered to me, and felt it like I could see it like a movie that was playing. Like it was so tangible. I was in that childlike space of wonder and curiosity and play. And there were so many reasons that my brain could have offered me as to why it was a terrible idea, how it could all go wrong, all kinds of things. Like we're in the heart of COVID. I had the intention that strangers were going to host me everywhere I went. I had all of these wild ideas, and I was just totally convicted that they were going to happen. I just really had no doubt. And like I said, we're going to talk more about belief of like how to get to that place and what helped. And one thing that really stands out to me is I was in this state of play, of curiosity, of exploration. And what I will say is that after having experienced that and created the most incredible year-long road trip that unfolded more beautifully than anything I could have imagined and was like one of the most enriching experiences of my life, then I compare that to other instances where it's felt much harder to build belief. And oftentimes, the areas I struggle to build belief in potentially the most have been related to business, money, career, things. And even though I've created beautiful results, achieved goals, different things in my business, sometimes it has still felt very hard to believe in myself. And here's one of the reasons why I think that is. Because for the road trip, I had no thoughts about what other people were going to think of me, what it was going to mean if I created that result or didn't create that result. I wasn't attached to it going any particular way. I wasn't going to make up a story about myself that I was a failure if I didn't execute this road trip in the exact way that I had planned. I wasn't holding super tightly to like, it has to go like this. And if it doesn't go like this, like everything is wrong and I'm behind and like all of these things. So because it was so like outside of anything I had ever done and anything I had seen anyone else do, I didn't have all these other layers on top that were muddying and clouding my ability to tap into that sense of childlike joy, wonder, creativity, play. So when it comes to business and money and career and all of these things, I find there's a lot more layers on top of that. When I say layers, I mean things like societal programming of what success means, of the survival fears of money and paying our bills and all of that, and what I thought other people might think of me if I achieve or don't achieve certain things, like all of those stories, real and perceived, of what it would mean about me, the impact it would have on me if I did or didn't achieve whatever goal I wanted to believe in. So when it comes to belief, I find when there's all these different layers on top of that, it can be much harder to tap into that sense of, like I said, childlike joy, wonder, play, creativity, when there's grasping, when there's attachments, when there's judgments, when there's expectations. So a big part of my exploration in belief work is like, okay, how do I navigate all of those layers? How do I quiet the fears, the judgments? How do I feel a sense of safety and security internally, no matter what I see, no matter what my circumstances are, no matter the dollars in my bank account, so that I can get back to this sense of creativity, of joy, of exploration? Because I believe we all have this power of imagination inside of us. We've all likely been children and played with toys and imagined different worlds and believed in something that didn't exist yet. And I believe that we all have the power to ignite that energy inside of us and learn how to work with all of these other factors that might get in the way of making belief harder, so that we can experience our life again like play, and also be able to enjoy our current circumstances, our current life, our current selves exactly as we are, and be in that space of imagination and creativity without making it mean anything. And I really find of like, this is what life's all about, of being able to connect to the spark inside of you that is igniting passion, curiosity, wonder, desire, exploration, purpose, whatever it is, turning the dial up on that, connecting to that pure essence of your vital life force energy, of what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel inspired, what compels you to do whatever work that you do in this world, whatever that is, to reconnect with that spark, turn the dial up on that, and really explore and understand how to develop confidence, how to develop courage, how to develop self-trust, so that we can continue to move towards those sparks even when life feels uncertain. And if that has ever felt challenging, there are many reasons for that. One of them being that our primitive brains always are looking for danger. Our brains are programmed for efficiency, for safety, to want to predict danger, challenging scenarios so that we can think ahead of time of how to protect ourselves. So we're in this default pattern. And whatever thoughts we practice most often are going to be the ones that our brain offers us again and again and again, because that's what's easy. And our brain loves to save energy. It loves to be efficient. So if you've ever found yourself thinking about worst case scenarios, having fear or anxiety about the future, that is likely because that is what your brain is used to practicing. And it takes energy to direct our brains to something different. So if you've ever struggled to do this, you are human. This is normal. And there are tools and practices that can support you in building belief and strengthening this muscle, because belief is a muscle, just like anything else that with practice you can make stronger. And it takes really directing your brain, because our brains are a powerful machine. And what we direct them to, they will naturally go to work trying to find the answers for. So much of belief work is just asking yourself more useful questions. So instead of asking yourself, like, why might everything not work out? Why is this totally impossible? All the questions that elicit fear and doubt and anxiety and worry, we can ask ourselves different questions like, how might this work out? How could this go better than I planned? Why is it actually supporting me right now that I'm experiencing obstacles? That's a question that I love to ask myself, because so often, I find that people wish away their challenges or obstacles of like, oh, I wish this wasn't happening right now. Why is this happening to me? This is so unfortunate that I'm experiencing this challenge. And this is not to spiritually bypass and not say that there's not extreme challenges to, work through and feel your feelings around and have compassion for yourself around and just, go through that whole journey. This is more so about being able to, when you're ready and it feels like it would be supportive, to be able to look at things from a different perspective. So anytime I'm facing a challenge in my business, for example, when I'm able to find a way to see it in a way that, wow, me overcoming this exact challenge right now is going to make me such a more powerful coach. So for me, in the work that I do, I support visionaries, creatives, entrepreneurs, and trailblazers to bet on themselves and blaze their own path, to really develop confidence, courage, self-trust internally so that they can live their most authentic, inspired life. And that path requires being comfortable with uncertainty. It requires developing belief when there's no proof or evidence. It requires learning to trust yourself on a whole deeper level. It requires, like I said, finding safety and security internally, when your external circumstances might make you feel unsafe. So anytime I'm experiencing anything related to that, any challenge or any obstacle related to that, and I'm like, oh, I wish I wasn't experiencing this, I remember and remind myself, my people, my clients, my community, they're experiencing these same things. And what a gift it is for me to be going through this right now, because this is helping me improve my own practices, understand even deeper for myself what helps me overcome these things. And the more I put my brain to work focusing on that, the more I can translate that into tools for you, for my community, for my clients. So I wouldn't have gone through that process if I hadn't experienced the same exact challenges that I help my clients experience. So now I'm able to support people from an embodied sense because I've walked this path and I've discovered the tools that have helped me the most experience these challenges. So I was honestly just reflecting on this morning and really thinking about wow, what a gift. What a gift it is to experience, different challenges that I'm experiencing in my business right now so that I can, like I said, develop and refine my skills and tools even more so that I can help people on this same path. Because like I said, I really see and believe in that we're in this moment in time where so many more people are going to be wanting to do life differently, to do work differently, do finances differently, do relationships differently. And I've spent my entire life questioning, wait, is what I was programmed to believe what I actually want? Do I actually want a marriage and children? Do I actually want this fancy corporate job? Do I actually want whatever it is, fill in the blank? And to be able to question that. that's been like my life's journey of really being able to define for myself what are my values, what are my goals, what actually matter to me, and how could I create a life in alignment with that? And how could I actually believe that's possible, even when I don't necessarily see examples for that lifestyle around me? Or maybe I do. Either way, how can I believe it's possible for me, even if I'm not used to it, even if I haven't created it yet? And I really see more and more people asking themselves these questions as so much in the world is changing, as AI is exploding, as systems are breaking down, as old ways of operating are no longer working. So many people are asking themselves these questions. So, like I said, for me, this feels like my purpose and mission, and connected to why it's so important to me to believe in this path and continue to overcome whatever challenges I face, and why I know that belief work is so important. Because, like I said, we're in a phase of life, of society, of history, where it's inviting us to imagine something newly for ourselves. So those are some of the reasons why this is so important to me. And like I said, for you, if this has ever felt like a struggle, it's possible to do this in a new way. It's possible to build belief in a way that feels tangible, embodied, practiced, and it's not just about our thoughts. So if you've ever tried to think an affirmation and it just like doesn't feel like it's working, and you still lack confidence and you still lack motivation, it's likely because you don't actually believe in that. So what does it take to actually build belief? What does it take to actually walk yourself into imagining a new reality when your brain has thoughts and doubts and fears? This is exactly what we're going to dive into at Believe, this in-person event coming up on Thursday, May 7th. It is at the House Handcrafted in Baltimore, in the Hamilton-Laurelville area, if you're familiar with this neighborhood. And it's at this incredible shop that is full of magical objects. If you missed my podcast episode last week, I interviewed Amanda McCormick, who is the owner of this space, and it's called the House Handcrafted because she creates all of these magical things, from journals, candles, grimoires, all kinds of tools and objects and creative things to help you access whatever intentions you have. So for me, one of the reasons why I love Feng Shui is because we are so much more than our brains. We respond to imagery, to color, to feeling, to symbolism. So belief work is not just thinking a new way. It's being able to feel something new. It's being able to imagine something new. So if you take yourself back to, again, a child who's playing with different toys, they're creating worlds. Their stuffy is a unicorn, and this pen is a magic wand, and all these different things. They're imagining things and using tangible objects that they can touch and feel and sense to envision this world. So for me, one of the things that I find really helps belief work is having tangible objects that can remind me of this essence of what I want to believe in, the vision for my life I'm building, and help me tap into and access that. So that's one of the reasons why this event is going to take place at the House Handcrafted. So if you are hearing this and you want to believe in something new for yourself, and you want to explore how to do that in a really tangible, embodied, experiential way, come join us. You can get one of these tickets at ginacasbarro.com/believe. And there's only a limited amount. So if you're listening to this and you're like, yes, I would love to come, head to that website, ginacasbarro.com/believe, and grab one of them. And if you're not local to Baltimore and you're like, wow, I wish I could be a part of this experience, leave me a comment on YouTube or go to my Instagram. I've been sharing about Believe. Leave me a comment there. Let me know that you want to experience this. I'm, dreaming about doing this as a virtual event as well. So the more I hear from you, the more that will let me know who's interested and who wants to come. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you're not local to Baltimore. And one of the things I really, again, just want to leave you with is that I've seen where when I lack belief about something, or I'm struggling to feel confident about something, or where I'm telling myself like, oh, I should be able to believe in this already, this should have happened already, all these shoulds and judgments that can add, again, so many layers, so much mud on top of that energy, that core vital life force energy of belief and creativity and play. So if you've ever struggled to believe in something and then shamed yourself for struggling to believe in something, I invite you to put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, offer yourself some compassion in this moment to remind yourself that you're human and that part of this is about our brain's default ways of being, and that there are tools and practices to work with your brain instead of fight against your brain, and that wherever you are in your journey right now is perfect. And even just you listening to this podcast, you being open to consider new beliefs, that counts for something. That matters. And that's another thing that I find with belief work is it can happen little by little. And if something feels very inaccessible, if a belief feels very inaccessible, so say today you don't have a business and you want to have a business, you want to offer your services in the world, and maybe you're thinking about, man, I would love to have $1 million business one day, and you haven't made $1, and that $1 million business vision feels completely inaccessible right now. That knowing belief work, you can work your way up to that. So you don't have to believe in that super grand vision right away. You can create baby beliefs and smaller beliefs and like bite-sized beliefs of really being able to think, it could be possible for me to offer my services in the world. I bet there could be one person who would be interested in what I have to offer today, or whatever it is. Being able to slowly build belief little by little is possible. And that's so much of what we're going to talk about again at Believe, of what can get in the way of building belief? Why can it be so hard sometimes? And what can really support you in building beliefs in a really tangible, embodied way? So if you've struggled, have compassion for yourself. If you're in Baltimore and this speaks to you, go to ginacasbarro.com/believe. Join us. If you're not in Baltimore, leave me a comment. Let me know that this is something that you're interested in, and I'll make sure that you are in the know when we create virtual events in the future. All right, my friend, the last question I want to leave you with is, what are you open to believing in? What do you want to begin believing in? So even asking these kinds of questions, again, I find can open up something in my brain. So if I'm struggling to believe in something, even thinking like, I'm open to believing in that. I understand that I could believe in that. Like, that's just a thought that might open up something. It's just like being able to grab onto anything that feels more accessible. So if your brain is like, this is impossible, it's like, well, I could imagine a reality where it could be possible. I'm open to considering that it could be possible. If you're not ready to believe like this is 100% possible, being able to start exploring little thoughts that are potentially more nourishing, more expansive than current ones that your brain is offering. All right, my friend, I hope something in this conversation resonated with you, and hopefully I'll see you real soon. If you are a visionary, creative, trailblazer, entrepreneur, or simply anyone who wants to imagine something new is possible for your life and pursue that dream, I have something for you. One of the number one things that has helped me to step out into the unknown and follow my spark has been learning to listen for and trust my intuition. Developing this skill has left me feeling so much more clear, grounded, confident, and trusting of myself, especially in the face of the unknown. So if you want to strengthen your connection with your intuition, with your inner compass, so that you can trust yourself and your path, go to ginacasbarro.com/intuition. I created a really powerful tool to help you develop your intuition simply by even using it. So on this website, you'll be guided to choose like an oracle card style and be guided to what intuitive practice will serve you most in this moment. So go to ginacasbarro.com/intuition, go in with an open heart, ask that you'll be guided, and see what practice will serve you most right now and what intuitive guidance is waiting for you. All right, my friend. In the meantime, don't forget to follow your spark.